A single leaf, as wide as a serving platter, glossy and jungle green, is spilling over a garden path in a place that hasn't seen rain in 6 weeks, where the hose has stayed coiled all month and that leaf is not thirsty at all. Quick thing before the countdown, if a jungle look on almost no water is exactly the garden you want, subscribe and stick around, because low water drama like this is the whole reason this channel exists. What actually drinks water is not a leaf's size, it's the leaf's skin, the thin, exposed, unprotected surface where moisture leaks out into the air. A leaf can be enormous and still barely sip as long as it guards that surface. And these 9 giants all cheat it, using 3 tricks stolen straight from the driest gardens on earth. A waxy coat that seals the moisture in, a layer of silver fuzz that shades the leaf from itself, and a strange night-breathing habit called cam, where the plant keeps its pores shut all day and only cracks them open after dark, so it loses almost nothing to the brutal midday sun. Hold on to those 3. Every plant here leans on at least one of them. And if your hose has stayed coiled all summer and you still want a jungle, stay with me. Every plant on this list is built for exactly your yard. So we count down. Number 9, bear's breeches, or Acanthus mollis. This is the deep cut, glossy Mediterranean leaf you've already seen 1,000 times without knowing it. The Greeks loved its shape so much they carved it into the tops of their stone columns, curling and splitting at the crown. In your garden, it throws up a whole fountain of that foliage from one fat, drought-storing taproot buried deep in the soil. Think of that root as a hidden water tank. It sips slowly, hoards what it finds, and rides out the dry stretch underground while everything above it looks lush. Here's what you do with it. Plant it in dry shade, that dark, root-choked corner under a tree where nothing else will grow, and every gardener eventually gives up. Acanthus walks straight into that gap and fills it with green. It's the plant for the spot you'd already written off. Number 8, honeybush Melianthus major out of South Africa. Blue-gray leaves, deeply serrated, arching in soft ferny ranks, and here's the party trick. Brush one with your hand and it smells of peanut butter. But that pale, dusty blue coating isn't for show. That's cheat number 2, working right in front of you. A pale leaf bounces the sun back instead of soaking it up, so it runs cooler, and a cooler leaf loses far less water, it cooks less, it drinks less. You know that hot wall where nothing survives? Point at it right now, that scorching, west-facing bake oven of a spot, because that is exactly where number 8 wants to live. The place that fries everything else is where its sun-reflecting leaf is happiest. Number 7, the Cardoon Cinera cardunculus. Picture a silver artichoke that grew up wild and enormous arching leaves 5 feet long, so bold that from across the yard your eye reads pure rainforest. And yet, this thing survives on a Sicilian summer alone. Months of hammering heat and no rain at all. Get up close and you see the secret. The whole leaf is furred over with fine silver hairs. That fuzz is living shade cloth, a coat draped right across the leaf's skin, catching the light like felt and keeping the surface underneath cool and shaded from itself. And that's the trick you can steal without ever buying a cardoon. Reach for hairy, silver-leaved plants whenever you're filling a baked corner. The fuzz you can see with your own eyes is the plant shading itself. No shade sail, no cloth, no work from you. 3 plants down and already you can feel the pattern under all of it. Store the water underground, or reflect the sun off the leaf, or fur the leaf until it shades itself. But the boldest leaf still coming does neither. It doesn't bounce the sun away, and it doesn't grow a single hair of fuzz. It seals itself shut like a raincoat worn inside out, staying evergreen straight through a drought on a fraction of what a fruit tree drinks. That's number 6. That raincoat is real, and you can see it work. Splash water onto a loquat leaf, Areobatria japonica, and it beads up and rolls straight off like rain running down a jacket. Every one of those big leathery leaves is coated in a thick layer of wax, a living seal. The tree grows over its own skin. Water can't sneak out through a sealed surface, so the moisture the tree pulls up from the soil stays locked inside the leaf hour after baking hour while the sun does its worst. And here's the part that gets me. This tree stays green all year. No dropping its leaves in fall, no sad bare season, no collapse when the heat comes. Big, glossy, leathery evergreen, a jungle canopy standing over your yard on a sliver of what a normal fruit tree drinks. Think about that. The apple tree down the street is gasping through August. The loquat just shrugs. So here's what you steal from it. Run your fingers down a leaf like this. If it feels thick and waxy, you're touching a plant that barely needs you. That shine isn't decoration. That's the plant telling you it holds its water tight. When you're picking plants for the bones of your garden, the parts you want green in every photo, every season, reach for the thick, leathery, glossy ones. The waxier the leaf, the less it leaks. Loquat's whole personality is the friend who never asks to borrow anything. Give it a corner and forget about it. Number 5 wants nothing to do with patience. This one is castor bean Ricinus communis, and it is the fastest tropical drama you can grow, full stop. Drop one seed in spring. By late summer, you've got a plant taller than you are, throwing out enormous palmate leaves, big star-shaped hands of foliage, each one spread wide as a dinner plate, some of them flushed deep red at the edges. In a single season, from nothing. Most plants take years to give you that kind of bulk. Castor bean does it before your summer's even over, and it does it in dead heat, in poor soil, shrugging off the kind of dry spell that flattens softer plants. Quick, honest word before you fall in love with this one. Keep it where small hands and paws can't reach. Every part of castor bean is toxic. Not the leaves you worry about, the whole plant, seeds and all. That's not me trying to scare you off a beautiful thing. It's just the deal. Plant it at the back of a bed, along a fence, somewhere kids and pets don't roam, and you're fine. So when do you actually want it? When you need a jungle this summer and you don't want to wait 3 years for it. One seed, a few months, and you've got head-high leaves and instant shade. Treat it as your fast, temporary canopy, the plant that fills the gap while your slower, permanent stuff catches up. It's the firework of this whole list. Loud, huge, over in a season, and worth it. That's a whole tropical mood grown for the price of a single seed and almost no water. Now the countdown tightens. Number 4, you've seen this one, even if you've never known its name. Strelitzia, the bird of paradise. Those broad, banana-like paddle leaves fanning up against the sky. And if it's old enough, that impossible orange and blue flower shaped like a bird mid-takeoff, stand in front of a stand of these, and every cell in your brain says wet tropics, says island, says somebody waters this thing constantly. Nobody does. Not once it's settled in. Because the real story with Strelitzia isn't up top where the leaves show off, it's underground, out of sight. Down there it grows thick, fleshy, water-storing roots, swollen and firm like fat fingers, packed with moisture. That's its private reservoir. When the rain quits and the weeks stack up dry, the plant just sips from its own buried tank and keeps those paddles standing tall while everything around it wilts. But there's a price, and I won't hide it from you. You have to earn that toughness. The first season, you water it hard, properly, deeply, regularly, because that's when it's building those fleshy roots underground. Skimp now, and you get a weak plant that whines forever. Do it right, and once the roots are packed and ready, you back off, way off. From then on, it rides out the dry on its own. That's the trade with Strelitzia. Pay up front in water for one season, cash out in years of drought-tough tropical drama. And if a plant this lush can go quiet on the hose in a baked yard, your summer really is running out of excuses. So look at what we've collected so far. A leaf-sealed shut, like a raincoat, a firework grown from one seed, roots swollen with their own hidden water. 3 different ways to cheat the sun. And every one of them was the warm-up, because the top 3 don't coat their leaves and they don't reflect the light. They refuse to breathe during the day at all, clamping their pores shut until dark. Number 3 feels like triangular suede, and it drinks the night. And that's exactly what number 3 does. Kalanchoe biharensis, the felt bush, grows leaves shaped like arrowheads, colored a dusty silver bronze, and covered in a fuzz so soft it feels like triangular suede. Run your thumb across one and it drinks the touch, but the felt is just the surface trick. The real magic happens after sundown. Remember that night breathing trick I promised you at the start? This is it. working in the dark while you sleep. Every leaf on Earth has to open tiny pores to feed little mouths that crack open to let air in. Open them at noon in the desert and you bleed water straight into the sky, so the felt bush refuses. It clamps every pore shut through the whole burning day, holds its breath, and opens up only once the sun is down and the air turns cool. That's Cam, the night-breathing habit. It swallows the cool night air and loses almost nothing to the midday sun. The deadly heat never steals a single drop, which makes this one of the easiest plants you'll ever own. Treat a fleshy, felt-leaved succulent like this as set and forget texture. It carries its own water reservoir inside those thick leaves, a full tank on board. Your job is mostly to stay out of its way, stand back, and let it hold the corner. The felt bush is the quiet one that never asks for anything and always looks the part. Number 2 breathes at night too, but it took the idea somewhere ridiculous. Prickly pear, opuntia. You've seen it 100 times and probably never really looked at it. Those flat green paddles standing up off the ground. Here's the thing, almost nobody clocks the pads are leaves, stems, and water tanks in one. That whole flat green shape is doing every job at once, catching light like a leaf, holding the plant up like a stem, storing water like a barrel. Slice one open and it's wet inside, cool and heavy, like green flesh full of juice. It runs the same night-breathing habit as the felt bush, pores shut all day, but it stores far, far more. So use it as a living water tank. One established opuntia is a green battery planted right in your bed. It'll shrug off the worst heat you can throw at it, 110 in the shade. Weeks of it, doesn't care because it's running on a reservoir it filled months ago. Plant it once, leave it alone, and it just sits there quietly banking water while everything around it wilts. The pad is the toughest thing in the border, hiding in plain sight. And now, number 1, picture one leaf taller than you standing in your yard, and picture never dragging the hose to it all summer. That's the finale. Agave americana. A single plant that unfurls leaves longer than a person, blue-gray blades taller than you are, spiraling straight out of the center like something an architect drew. From across the yard, it reads as jungle, that broad, bold, dramatic sweep, but it's pure desert. And here's the payoff. This whole countdown was climbing toward, cut into one of those blades, and it holds gallons of water inside a wet, heavy core sealed behind thick blue skin with the night-breathing habit stacked on top. One agave can go a full summer completely untouched, no hose, no drip line, nothing. The hottest, driest months of the year, and it just stands there holding its own private reservoir, unbothered. That's the trick the whole video promised. A huge leaf and almost no thirst, the two things everyone swears can't go together, standing right there in blue. So plant one agave as the anchor of the entire scene. One, put it where the eye lands first, water it deep while its roots find their feet. That first season is the only time it really needs you, and then walk away. For the rest of the summer, you do nothing. The boldest, most sculptural leaf in your whole yard becomes the single lowest maintenance thing you own. That's the deal. That's agave americana. Now go back to where we started. That one impossible leaf, wide as a serving platter, glossy and jungle green, spilling over a cracked path in a place that hasn't seen rain in 6 weeks. The hose coiled and dry all month. When you first saw it, it looked like a mistake, like something that had no business being alive there. It isn't a mistake, it's the whole point. Because if the driest ground on earth can grow foliage, this bold waxy coats, silver fuzz, leaves that breathe in the dark, then your baked yard is no excuse. Your watering ban is no excuse. That water bill you flinch at every month is no excuse. The jungle look was never about the water. It was about knowing which plants already solve the problem for you. So here's the whole thing in one line. Big leaf, small thirst, 9 of them, all real, all sitting in a garden center near you right now. Pick 2 that fit your space, plant them once, and let the jungle arrive without the jungle water bill. Thanks for spending this time out here in the dry with me. I'll see you on the next Low Water Guide.